Hey everyone! Not long ago, we explored an example of a revolution within a single model whose production could hardly be called mass-produced, even with a stretch. Today, let's discuss a car that, in the mid-30s, completely redefined perceptions of what a vehicle could be, at least in the world's most automotive-centric nation. The Chrysler Airflow was ahead of its time, set industry standards for the future, became part of history and the brand's lineup, yet remained misunderstood. To fully immerse ourselves in the topic, let's revisit the context. At the turn of the 20s and 30s, cars were primarily built using the two-box scheme. The engine compartment and passenger compartment were arranged on a chassis frame, to which all components were directly mounted. Naturally, this design had numerous flaws, though they weren't as obvious a century ago. First, weight distribution suffered, shifting toward the rear axle up to a ratio of 25:75 when the cabin was fully occupied and the trunk loaded. Such imbalance inevitably affected handling. Second, aerodynamic performance was abysmal, impacting both dynamics and fuel efficiency. Against the backdrop of rapid aviation advancements, many engineers understood this all too well. One such engineer was Carl Breer of Chrysler Corporation. Inspired by the effortless air-slicing formation of fighter jets high in the sky, he pondered how to adapt aircraft technologies for self-propelled vehicles. While most designers of the era focused on making their creations look fast and visually appealing to buyers, Breer was fixated on how effectively a car could overcome air resistance. It irked him that Chrysler's advanced engines couldn't reach their full potential due to flawed body designs. Breer enlisted colleague William Earnshaw to calculate the aerodynamics of the two-box concept. The results stunned both. Cars of the time faced less air resistance when driven backward than forward. With a clear direction, Breer, backed by engineers Fred Zeder and Owen Skelton, pitched his ideas to Walter P. Chrysler in 1929. The corporation's head approved, granting the trio funding to build their own wind tunnel, a costly endeavor under strict secrecy. Experimenting with shapes, the team discovered that a teardrop profile maximized passenger space without sacrificing aerodynamic efficiency. After testing dozens of wooden mock-ups, they unveiled the first steel prototype, the Trifon Special, in 1932. It featured a short, wide-rounded hood, a steeply raked windshield, fender-integrated headlights, and a gently sloping roofline. Chrysler approved, but Breer remained unsatisfied. After 50 iterations, the revolutionary car debuted at the New York Auto Show in January 1934. Public reaction was predictably mixed. Journalists weren't swooning. The Airflow's philosophy clashed too sharply with conventional automotive ideals. Critics likened it to a beetle, rhinoceros, or even a robber with a stocking over their head. Similar backlash later greeted Chris Bangle's BMW 5 Series, E60, in the early 2000s, though it's now a beloved classic. Back to the Airflow, its technical innovations truly outpaced the era. A monocoque chassis was groundbreaking in the mid-30s, when most cars relied on frame-on-body construction with wooden elements. Chrysler wouldn't revisit this until the early 60s, but today, monocoque designs dominate. The passenger compartment shifted forward by 25 centimeters, achieving a 50/50 weight distribution when fully loaded, a layout later dubbed cab forward. The cabin, now wider by 13 centimeters, accommodated 3 adults per row. The all-steel body was 40 times more rigid in torsion than Chrysler's earlier designs, which combined steel panels over wooden frames. The windshield, split into two angled sections, or a single curved pane on the Imperial Custom, was another leap forward. Engine options included two inline 8 units, a 299 cubic inch, 4.9 liter, producing 122 horsepower, and a 324 cubic inch, 5.3 liter, with 138 horsepower, paired with a 3-speed manual. DeSoto, Chrysler's subsidiary, offered a 4-liter 6-cylinder with around 100 horsepower. Four wheelbases spanned 3,721, 3,492, 3,251, and 3,137 millimeters. To showcase its aerodynamics, Chrysler took the Airflow to Utah's Bonneville Salt Flats in August 1934. IndyCar driver Harry Hartz set 72 national speed records, including 95.7 miles per hour, 153 kilometers per hour, over a flying mile, and an average of 74.7 miles per hour, 119 kilometers per hour, across 2,000 miles. A New York to Los Angeles run averaged 13.1 liters per 100 kilometers. In a stunt underscoring durability, a prototype drove away after a 33-meter cliff plunge, its windows and doors intact. Despite initial interest, sales plummeted. Chrysler had rushed production, fearing GM would beat them to market with streamlined designs. Instead of 35,000 units in 1934, only 10,839 were sold. By 1937, fewer than 30,000 Airflows had been built, and the model was axed. Road and Track later noted it was too advanced for a depression-scarred, conservative public. Chrysler avoided bold innovations until Virgil Exner's forward look in 1955. The Airflow's legacy, however, endured. A 2022 New York Auto Show concept revived the name for an electric crossover, while the 2000s Chrysler PT Cruiser paid subtle homage. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to my channel. Cheers.